Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to episode 4 in our series of How to Build a Castle. This is Browncoat67, and today we are going to start working on the main keep, or the Donjon, but this is going to be basically the large central building structure, and I think what I'm going to do, looking at our upper city here, our upper Bailey, I think I'm going to have it run. I cleared some spots over here in the dirt. I think I'm going to have it run from about here straight down all the way over here to the wall. And I'm going to have it bury itself into the mountain. And I'll probably have the sides sticking out further than the center building a little bit. That way they kind of protrude out and you have a recessed doorway. It's easier to defend a doorway like that. Alright, I'm over here at Z value 107, which I believe is as far out as I'm going to go here. And I'm probably going to run this pretty far into the mountain over here. I'm thinking, yeah, probably into here, over here, negative 70. And I am going to have this run all the way to over here. I'm not going to have it continuing further, probably right around in this area where I had that hollowed ounce. I still need to work on the well. I want to have some aqueduct systems involved with that. I'm planning on the temple probably being right here. Not sure yet, but so I definitely don't want to go too far with this. But this should be big enough, and I'm going to build this up pretty tall. I'm thinking probably 16 blocks tall. It's going to be a very imposing building. So the one I'm going to do is actually going to come out from 115 over here on the X coordinate, and I'm going to take it over to 128 on the X coordinate. So I'm actually just going to fill in this first section. So I'm over here at 128, 99, and that was negative 107. So that's the front corner. Now I'm going to take that all the way to 115, 115, negative 70. And this is going to be deep slates, bricks. And I am going to make this hollow, because I do think we're going to eventually go in and fill everything out on the inside. Now I'm going to run this command here. And this produced the first section of the donjon. It's going to run all the way from out here all the way into the mountain. Now this next section is going to be just as tall, but I'm going to start this a little bit inward. I'm going to bring it all the way up to where the dirt is here. So what am I standing at? Negative 103, it looks like. So I'm going to take that from over here. And I'm going to go all the way over to, yeah, right here, 139. So I'm going to go fill. And that was 128. That's the wall. So I can use the same coordinate there because I'm going to be replacing the wall with the wall. It's going to be the same material. It'll be okay. And that starts down at 99, and that was negative 10. What is that? Negative 103, because I'm moving it 4 blocks in. And then I'm going to move that over to, let's see, if I wanted 139 to be the last block of the inner building, so 140 is what I'm going to put there. And now for the height, we're bringing that up to 115. And we're bringing that all the way back to negative 70. And again, this is going to be deep slate, bricks, hollow. And when I run this, it's going to produce the next section of the dungeon. Now I'm going to do the same thing as this one over here. So I know that this is 140, and I'm going to run it all the way over to 153. That's on the x-axis. The y is from 99 up to 115, which is going to be up here. And then all the way back on the Z is negative 70. And up here on the front of the Z is negative 107. So I'm going to go from this corner up here. It's going to be fill. I'm going to go 140 because that's the last row of the deep slate there from the intersection of the donjon. It's down on the 99 for the Y value. And we are forward to negative 107. Now I'm going to run this down to 153. I'm going to run this up to 115. And I'm going to run this back to negative 70. Deep slates, bricks, hollow. And now we have the start of our donjon. And this runs straight into the mountain. It's built right into the mountain. It runs right up next to the defensive wall of the upper bailey and kind of encloses it in like a hallway. Alright, so this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is an odd number. So if I'm going to have 2 doors, what I'm actually going to do is, let's raise up a block here, huh? Alright, let me break that in one more, put a stair down, and I'm going to come over one space and do the same thing. Yeah. And then we're going to put down our doors. Line up some windows right above the doors. And I am doing this so that each floor is going to be at about 4 blocks. So this is the bottom level of the first floor. So you got 1 block. All right, then you got where the player stands. And then you got the space above the player. Now castles are typically high ceilinged. And then you got the floor above. And then the lower section of the window. So you want to try and plan this out. So doing this, I know that the floor for the next level is going to be right here. So while I haven't put the floor in, I can just plan that's going to be right there. So if I were to do the same thing, there we go. Now, having windows like that has obvious tactical advantages because it allows archers or people that are pouring hot liquids, oils, throwing stones, anything like that to defend the doors down below. Now, we can repeat this from the sides. Now, from this, though, I planned on doing it a little differently. These ones are going to be a little bit bigger. And as you can see, these are all lining up at the exact same levels as the inside windows. I'm going to do again the same thing over here. And again, the reason is I'm building this in my mind as something that is going to be a real place. So when I build this, I'm going to think, how would I defend this if it was my castle? Another thing is, right out in front of the donjon where the doors are, oftentimes doors can be protected unless they get beat in, typically with like small battering rams, things like that. Well, it's harder to do that if you obstruct the area directly in front of the doors. So if I were to put a small half wall here in front of the donjon, this makes it much more difficult to bring in large siege weapons to try and break these doors down. So you have a much better time frame for your defenders above to do something about it. But I don't like that this is lined up there. Why don't we actually just close these down to 2 slots? There. I think that would work a lot better. Gives them a little bit more protection. They can duck around the corner, have a better angle at the door. I like that. Now the front side is not so much about defense, this is more about making it look good. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break these corners. And then from there, I'm going to line this up with the same level that the other windows are starting on, but these are not actually going to be windows. Alright, let me come over here to the other side, do the same thing. What did I move in? 2 spaces? 1, 2, 3. A little bit taller. Here we go. And those 2 spaces from the ends. There. And with these, I'm going to go in and I'm going to actually fill these in with the black stone bricks. Yes. There we go. I think that looks good. Do this on the other side here. All right, that is looking pretty good. Now the next thing I want to do is actually, I'm going to crunnel the top, but I'm going to switch over to black stone. Alright, looking pretty good so far. I like the crunnels. I'm going to grab some of the deep slate stairs, and I'm actually going to go and I'm going to line the bottom of the building out like this. It's going to look good. And I'm just going to end that right there. Now, I'm going to switch over to the polished black stone, and I think I'm going to add some lining. So what if I break this down? I'm going to add one more to the crunnel there. It's going to give me a little bit more of a better lineup. And I'm going to put a stair like so. And then I'm going to run this downward like so. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Find that middle line. Alright, and then at the top, we're going to put the stair. Alright, so now I'm going to put some of this into my inventory, just like some of the other ones that I've used and I don't want to lose, because we're going to do some banner work for the outside of the castle. I do plan on building some custom banners, so make sure you grab multiple of the blue banners. The red banner, though, you only need to grab one, because as you put it down, you can repeat it. What we're going to need to do here is we're going to need the flower charge, red dye, going to need blue dye, going to need yellow dye, going to need light gray dye, alright, so put the loom down and we're going to jump inside here, and like I said, we're going to start off with a blue banner for the customization, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a flower charge on it. So it's going to come out a blue banner with a red flower charge. So now I'm going to put that banner right back on it. And I'm going to put blue dye. And what I'm looking for is the upper half of the the upper half of the banner being covered, like so. What that's going to do is it's going to cut our red flower charge in half, and it's going to make the banner blue up top, as it originally was. So I'm going to grab that out. I'm going to put it right back in. And this time I'm going to grab a yellow dye. And I'm going to be looking for the yellow inverted chevron, which is this upside down triangle, like so. I'm going to go ahead and put that right back in. And I'm going to grab the blue again. And what I'm looking for is the exact same thing. I'm going to color the top, but I'm looking for one that's slightly smaller. It's not going to be half of it. It's going to be, there we go, a quarter of it, like so. It's going to leave a little bit of that yellow there. We're going to throw that right back in. And now we're going to grab the light gray. And we're looking for an indented border, which is going to be this one down here. And you're going to notice that this right here looks just like the Hyrule shield from The Legend of Zelda. I know, it's cool. All right, so first things first, I'm going to come over. And I'm going to hang red banners from the lowest windows. Then going up to the middle windows here, I will hang the Hyrulean shield banners. This is going to be our kingdom banner. And I'm going to head up to the next window set, and I'm going to hang the blue banners like so. Nice. As I'm looking at this, I actually want to change one thing on the outside. I'm going to go ahead and replace these blocks here with stairs. I want to add a little bit more depth to those. To me, it looks just a little blocky, and I think that this is going to add just a little extra texture. I don't know, I think that looks way cooler. Of course, it's your build that you are working on, so I mean, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. Like I said, I planned on you following along, learning how to do the stuff, but ultimately, it's your castle you're working on. If you want it to be a little bit different than mine, then you make it different. If you think you did it cooler, though, you should definitely let me know in the comment section below. Maybe post a video, and I'll come take a look. Alright, and then I'm going to finish these kernels off on the side over here. I missed. And I'm just going to follow the same pattern that I used on the front of the building. Make it look clean, tidy. Ooh, good look. Nice. Now, in a later episode, I did mention I plan on going through and we're going to do some towers. Probably towers on the ends of the wall here. I probably will also add one here on top of the Donjon. If I do, it's going to be, I think, in the Blackstone. We'll call it the Black Keep. It'll be like the safest place in the city. And again, we have another one coming up where we will turn the waterfall into an aqueduct system. It's going to be the well for the city. It's going to provide all their water needs. So there's definitely a lot more coming for the upper city. And then the lower city is very, very empty and vacant. And we are totally going to fix that. So we have a lot more coming. But this is already starting to look really cool, everybody. Like I said, we do not want to lose that banner that we made. So make sure you put that in your inventory. Don't get rid of it. If you do need to remake it, you know, we have the video here. So you can go back and redo it. But try to hang on to that. Alright, and there it is, the outside of the Donjon, the main keep of the city. Let me know in the comments sections what you think, and make sure you click on the next video where we will continue on our castle building adventure. If the video is not popping up, that means it hasn't been posted yet. Make sure you subscribe so that you get notified when it is.